Hello, and welcome to my project on how to code a timer within your Scratch project. And so here we have a balloon popping game. So if I just click on it and I go ahead and I click the balloon, you can see that I'm gaining some points and exploring in that way. But right now I can go for an unlimited amount of time. I can get up to 100 points, 1,000 points, those sort of things. So when we have these types of games, sometimes it's nice to have a time limit on these games. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you how to code a timer. And so I've already done another video on how to code one type of timer, and this I'm going to code a different type of timer, so you can explore both options. So when coding a timer, you can either have it within one of your sprites or within the backdrop. Now, I would recommend having it in the stage because the timer is for all particular parts and sprites. But for this one, just because I've only got one sprite and I want to keep all of my code together, I'm going to code it within the balloon sprite. So if we think about what a timer is, so a timer is it keeps track of time, where there's some counting in here, and then we do some waiting, and there's a loop, right? And then again, we can count up from 0 to a certain amount, or count down from that time limit to 0. All right. So again, once we sort of think about it, okay, what's the plan, where we're going from here, we can start to bring in some of these blocks. And so we're going to actually use the countdown from that limit, the time limit, to 0. So this is going to be a countdown timer. So again, I need a way of keeping track of it. So I'm going to jump over to my variables. I'm going to make a timer or a time. And then again, I've got my two options, so I'm going to set it to begin with, and I'm going to change it at some point. And I'm going to change these both to score. I mean to time, so I don't mess that up or forget to do that. Obviously, I'm going to start this at the beginning of my project. So I'm going to start my time. And now time's not going to equal 0 at the beginning. I'm going to maybe, if I wanted to do 30 seconds, just for demonstration, I'm gonna use something small like 5 seconds. Or right now it's just 5. But as we explore, you'll see it'll turn into 5 seconds. So now I'm going to go over to my control and I'm going to get the wait option. And then the other thing I need to do here is I'm going to grab this repeat until. And so before we had used uh, we could use a repeat or a forever. We're going to use the repeat until. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to start to put these things together. And I'm going to put this wait 1 second because 5 seconds to 4 seconds, because again, we're counting down. We're going to wait a second before we get there. Now, again, we're going to change the time by not +1, but by -1 because we're counting down. And we're going to repeat this until we get to a certain value. And that value is going to be based on the time. And so we're going to need 2 blocks for this one, 2 more blocks. So we need an operator block. So these operator blocks are these ones that we want here. And so we can use, I like to use this one for this. But depending on how fast or what your timer looks like, you might need this greater than less than option, because you might go right by and not equal to. And so it might be better to have this option or this option for what you're doing. Maybe I'll use that one just for demonstration purposes. But all right. And then our variables, we're going to grab our time variable because that's the one we care about. And so repeat until time is less than 0. Well, let's go ahead and try this out, see what happens. So click on it. So we start at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. So it goes to -1. Okay, so that maybe we don't want it to go beyond 0. We need it to go beyond 1. Because again, it sort of runs through this loop or does this loop one more time after it gets there. So when time, repeat until time is less than 1. So when time is equal to 1, it will still go through here. Wait a second, subtract 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So when it's less than 0, it'll jump down here. And so now below here is we need a way of sort of stopping, because even though the timer is stopped, I'm still able to collect points. And so we need to stop that ability to collect points. So I'm going to go in here and click on Control, and there's a Stop All. I'm going to grab this Stop All, and then there we go. So if I run it again, so I've got, you can see the countdown going, and now time is equal to 0. So the timer is finished, and now we have 4 seconds. All right, so again, that's one way of doing it. In here, if you wanted to have an equals, then you would have had time is equal to 0, and then it would stop. All right, so again, thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If not, happy coding.